So today I'm going to be ranking every single mainline Assassin's Creed game. So we won't be doing the PSP stuff and we won't be doing the Chronicles stuff. I know some people might want to see that. Hey, maybe I'll play them another day, but I haven't played them. I've only played the mainline entries. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be ranking them. Now I can't do it like I did with the Batman stuff. I did from worst to best because there were 4 games in that series. Today we've got like 12, maybe 13. I think it's 12. That's a lot of games, man. That's a lot of games, and it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, so here's how it's going to work. We're going to do it like every other YouTuber this time. We have an S to like D tier thing. You'll see it on the screen. Not too sure if there's going to be D, E, or F. You'll see it. We're going to go chronologically. Assassin's Creed 1 to Valhalla, or Valhalla, as some people call it. And every time I finish talking about a game, I'm going to give it a grade. So it could be a C, it could be a B, it could be an A, it could be a D. So that's the way it's going to work. Leave your comments down below before I do or after. I don't really mind, you know. It's been really cool seeing all the support on the Batman video. Do you agree with my ratings? Do you not agree with my ratings? Let me know. So, Assassin's Creed 1. You see, Assassin's Creed 1 was the start of the franchise. Naturally, it's called Assassin's Creed 1. You see, Assassin's Creed existed before Assassin's Creed actually existed. I know it sounds insane. Originally, this game was going to be a Prince of Persia game. But they decided, you know what, this could be its own IP, and I respect that a lot. Came out in 2007, we all know that. Altair Ibn Ahad, you follow that guy. The guy that does not sound Arabic at all. He sounds like a generic American. Luckily, they changed that in Revelations. We'll get to Revelations soon. Now, this game is a tough one to rank, mainly because it's the first game, it's the foundation. But at the same time, you'd think that'd probably be the worst game in the series. It's the foundation, right? Well, not really. A lot of the newer games kind of lost the identity of Assassin's Creed. Don't worry, I'm not going to rant about it. You can find many videos on YouTube, people ranting about Assassin's Creed. Hell, I did it on my other channel. But that's not what today is about. So, rather than going super negative straight away with Assassin's Creed 1, let's talk about the positives. First off, this foundation for Assassin's Creed is phenomenal, okay? This was the foundation of everything. This is what everything was built upon, and I think we all need to respect that, okay? It is way too hot with this coat on. Give me a second. You see, Assassin's Creed 1 is incredibly flawed. It just is. It's really repetitive. The story is not great. The visuals are very dated at this point. It's very grey. It's not really particularly enjoyable to look at. But behind all that, it's everything that comes after it, and I feel like we need to take that into account when ranking it, okay? If I was just doing a normal review, it wouldn't be as high as it's going to be on here, but I just respect it a hell of a lot because, one, it's a new IP. Ubisoft doesn't do new IPs very often anymore, if at all. So for Ubisoft's new IP, I've got to respect it for that. For being the foundation of the Assassin's Creed series, I've got to respect it for that. And you know, it was just the beginning of everything. But before I rank it, let's review it a little bit. First off, combat and stealth. Bit weird. It's a bit weird. Originally, this was supposed to be some sort of action stealth game. Assassin's Creed, and I don't think this is really a hot take anymore because it was like 10 years ago because there was always arguments about it, but Assassin's Creed is not a stealth franchise, okay? It's just not. I've been playing Splinter Cell, the originals, Chaos Theory, Double Agent recently. Those are real stealth games. Assassin's Creed is not a stealth game. It is an action-adventure with stealth mechanics sprinkled in. That's just the way it is. If you want to deny it, that's fine. That's your opinion. I totally get it. But for me, it is not a real stealth game. So the stealth is really it's just bad in all of these games, okay? Let's just get that out of the way before we carry on. Stealth is not a priority for me to review in this game. So if you want me to go super in depth about the AI, I can't. There's no depth to the AI, okay? That's just my opinion. I know. But the combat is actually probably one of the best combat systems in the series, and I know that sounds dumb to say, because obviously Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, Revelations, etc. were all built on this system, but I still think Assassin's Creed 1, out of all 4 of those games, are actually the most, it's the most solid. Let me explain. You see, Assassin's Creed 1 has some hidden mechanics that you may not be aware about. For one, Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood and Revelations completely got rid of the heavy attack. In Assassin's Creed 1, you actually have a heavy attack. You have to hold the button down and it breaks the enemy's guard. Whereas in Assassin's Creed 2, Revelations and Brotherhood, you have to just spam, which is just nowhere near as engaging. On top of that, enemy variety is lacking in Assassin's Creed 1, but there was like 2 or 3 enemy archetypes that required slightly different variations of button inputs to kill them. And I found that really interesting, because obviously I played it when I was 8 years old. I played it originally in 2008, because I was 8 years old. I wanted GTA 4. My sister, the stepsister, who had a couple of issues, she couldn't get GTA 4, so she got me Assassin's Creed, and I put Assassin's Creed in, and I was like, oh my god, it's so cool, oh my god. My stepsister's like 15 years older than me, by the way. Let's get that up clear. Yeah, sick. But even back then, I really enjoyed the combat system, and I still enjoy it today. I replayed it this year, and I was just really surprised how well it holds up compared to everything else in Assassin's Creed 1, and I was just like, wow, this is really fun. I could, if there was just a bit more enemy variety, it could have bumped it up another grade, but just for the foundation, it's so solid. It's just such a shame that it's so repetitive. The story itself is not much of a story at all. There's themes there, you know what I mean? They explore different themes about loyalty, betrayal, obviously creed and all that stuff, the things you follow. You know, all that stuff. You get the point. You get the fucking point. Just stop. But outside of that, it really is nothing. The story really is just completely, honestly, a waste of time, to be honest with you, apart from the ending. The ending, obviously, I'm going to spoil things in this review, so there's your warning. 3, 2, 1, cool. The ending, turns out your master assassin, Al-Mualim, is a traitor. He likes the Apple of Eden, and he kills people over it. And it's like, cool. That was the big twist, and as good as that twist is, it's just not worth the amount of time you have to spend doing repetitive missions to get there, you know what I mean? But I do have to forgive it for that, and I know I'm going to be very biased. There's going to be some comments complaining about me being a little bit biased here, but it was the first Assassin's Creed game, man, and this was released when open world games were finally starting to become a bit more mainstream. I mean, open world games were not really made that much. You had GTA, obviously, but outside of that, I can't really think of many open world games that were actually decent. Open world games where you can interact with your environment, interacting with the NPCs, and they weren't just, you know, pixels that you can barely talk to. Obviously, I want to talk a bit more in depth about it, but the video will be way too long. I got the luxury of doing that with Batman because there was only 4 games, so we're going to speed run most of these games, sorry, but it just is what it is. But if you want proper full reviews, I've done them before on a different channel, so I could do them again. So, Assassin's Creed, where's it going? The original Assassin's Creed, I'm going to give it a solid C. It gets a C. Look at that, it gets a C. You see? You see it? You get the pun? C? Okay, sick. I think that's fair. Okay, Assassin's Creed 2. So, Assassin's Creed 2. In Assassin's Creed 2, you follow the series' most popular protagonist, Leonardo da Vinci. You see, Leonardo da Vinci was an assassin, actually. Swear to God, on God, I swear he was an assassin. He went around killing Templars as an assassin, while also being a painter and an architect. He was pretty impressive, you know what I mean? He made a gun, and then he made hidden blades, like a new hidden blade, so you could do a double hidden blade. And, you know, he just went around Venice killing people, and Florence killing people, and the joke's dead, I'm sorry. Let's move on. Ezio Auditore da Firenze, the most popular protagonist in all of Assassin's Creed. I don't think that's a hot take at all. He got 3 of his own games. He got 3 games. Every other protagonist in the Assassin's Creed series got 1 game. Put that in perspective. Ezio got 3. Everyone else got 1. Now, obviously, Assassin's Creed 2, there's not much to talk about. You guys know it was the thing that set Ubisoft on their path today. It's a great game. It's a great game. I don't think it's as good as everyone remembers, okay? I have the luxury of playing through all of these games like every year. Luxury, that's probably the wrong word, more like torture, to be honest with you. But I play these games almost every year just out of habit, just because I like them, you know, relive some childhood nostalgia. But every time I go back to Assassin's Creed 2, I just slowly lose motivation to play it. Not because it's bad, it's because of how many times I have played it. I know the story off, just like bang, bang, bang. I know every story beat, I know every twist, I know every line pretty much. So it does become a bit tedious for me. Obviously it could be different for you guys, especially if you haven't played Assassin's Creed 2 in like 10 years or whatever. But in that case, yeah, it's still an absolutely phenomenal game, but this is my list, I've got to be honest with you. So Assassin's Creed 2 made some pretty major improvements, especially when it comes to open world. Assassin's Creed 2 brings Florence, brings Venice, and it brings Monteriggioni, as well as the other place, Tuscany, I think it was called Tuscany, Forlì, doesn't matter. You get multiple cities to explore that are fully in-depth, like there's stuff to do, there's chests to find, there's secret tombs, there's side missions, there's collectibles, proper collectibles this time. There's a lot there, there's a lot to do in this city, so the open world is immediately improved, along with how you explore it. You see, in Assassin's Creed 1, you had to climb viewpoints to unlock investigations to actually continue the story, so there was no real side missions. It was all integral to the main mission. But with Assassin's Creed 2, you've got a bunch of different options, which is good. A lot of it is repetitive, though. I mean, anytime I replay it, I don't find myself doing the side missions, like, at all. I kind of just go on with the main story, because it's super easy to make money. But they're there. It's pretty cool. Obviously, the story is really good. The story is still really good for an Assassin's Creed game. Now, this is going to be a bit of a hot take. I really don't think it's anywhere near as good as people say now. Okay, I've replayed it so many times. I don't know if it's just me knowing what's going to happen. I don't know if it's because I know every line. Just as a critic, exploring it from a critique point of view, it's definitely not as strong as people say. I love Ezio. I love the voice actor for him. He did a fantastic job. But it's not quite as emotional as people remember. Obviously, you have Ezio's parents dying and his brothers dying. Well, his dad dying and his two brothers dying. Yeah, it's pretty emotional. But it's quickly brushed over, you know what I mean? It's quickly brushed over. And then after that, nothing really emotionally impacting happens. You just go around, start killing people, and then the game ends, and then gods turn up and all sorts. Obviously, it's probably just replay value slowly dwindling on me. But for me, the story isn't as strong as many people say, and I think there are better stories, specifically with Ezio, and we're going to get to that in just a minute. Assassin's Creed 2 was also the first game to introduce like an economy system where you could renovate buildings in Monteriggioni and you can make money from it, and that became a staple in Brotherhood, Revelations, Assassin's Creed 3, even though it's not very good in Assassin's Creed 3, Assassin's Creed 4, pretty much all of them up to about, I think, Origins, I think it was. It may have been Syndicate, because I know you can do it in Unity as well, because I just played it. But where would I rank it? That is the question of the day. Well, I'm going to give Assassin's Creed 2 a solid B. Now, I know, what? A B? How could you, how dare you? It's got to be S tier, Jack. What are you doing? Oh, why? Why did you make this list? I'm giving it a B because it's just not as good as I remember it being, okay? And that's just the way it is. That's just my opinion, okay? Maybe next year I'll replay it and I'll suddenly love it again. Maybe I'll just take a year-long break from Assassin's Creed in general. But yeah, that's my ranking for Assassin's Creed 1 and 2. Now, Brotherhood, we're going to skim these games because they skimmed us, okay? Brotherhood is a copy and paste of Assassin's Creed 2, except this time it's set in Rome and tells a bit of a more mature story. This Ezio is a bit more mature. You've got a couple years with him in this one. It's not quite 20 years. But it follows the story of Assassin's Creed 2. Uncle Mario gets shot. It's me, Mario. Yeah, he dies. So he gets shot. Cesare is the main villain. Ezio goes to Rome. He's really pissed off. He builds the Assassin Brotherhood up. He becomes the Master Assassin, and then he kills Cesare. Bang. Easy. Story simple. Story is very simple, but thematically explores more interesting themes, in my opinion, like leadership, brotherhood, proper brotherhood in this one, loyalty, all that stuff. Does it really well, but it's way too short. I think it's, if I remember correctly, it's 9 sequences? I think it might have been 9 or 8 sequences. It's a very short Assassin's Creed game, weirdly enough. But it's obvious why. It was developed in 10 months, bro. When someone says a game come out a year afterwards, no, it didn't come out a year afterwards. It came out 10 months afterwards because they developed the game in 10 months and then they had to market it and get it out. You know what I mean? It had to go on discs and everything. It didn't take a year. It took 10 months. That's where the shortcomings come in. Now, they really expanded on the economy of Assassin's Creed 2. Assassin's Creed 2 did well with Monteriggioni, but Rome is... They did really well with Rome. Pretty much everything you see can be renovated or bought. You can actually buy the Colosseums and all that stuff, which is really, really cool. And obviously, that makes you money over time. Problem is, with the money, there's just not much to buy. You can buy armor, you can buy weapons, and that's about it. It kind of comes... When you replay it and you're like, hang on a minute. Am I really going to spend 6 hours building this city up so I don't spend the money? This ain't real life, bro. This ain't real life. I ain't got to buy food. I ain't got to feed Ezio. I ain't got to buy fuel to get Ezio around places. He's got a horse. The horse can shit and eat. Bang, simple, easy. So there's not much to spend your money on, which is unfortunate. But that is also an issue on pretty much every Assassin's Creed game because they're too easy. And Brotherhood is where it gets too easy, okay? They changed the combat system a little bit. They saw Batman Arkham and they said, let's do Batman Arkham. And they said, you know what, let's have the counter kill system, but this time you can free flow. So every time you get a counter kill, you can stab another guy and stab another guy, stab another guy infinitely. No problem. And every time an enemy attacks you, just counter and you continue to stab, 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 stab. And it just makes it way too easy. Medicine is completely useless now. If you get hit, who cares? You've got another combo starter, bang, simple, easy. And this is what I mean. These games are not stealth games. It's harder to play it in stealth than to do action, which is not how you do stealth games. If you want to do action in a stealth game, you've got to be accepting that it's going to be more difficult. You know what I mean? But if you do it stealthily and you have some patience, it's going to be easier. That's a stealth game. It's simple. Splinter Cell, Metal Gear Solid, bang, easy. But it's a whole different topic, and I will be talking about Splinter Cell soon. Stick with the Sticky Man if you want to see that. Stick with the Sticky Man. I've got the Splinter Cell video almost ready to go. I'm going to start filming it tomorrow. Bang, simple, easy, boom, subscribe. Oh, I'm going to quickly interrupt and just thank everyone for all the support on the Batman Arkham video. I cannot thank you enough. All of the comments have been really nice, every single one of you. I haven't had a single negative comment on that video. It's really just wow. I can't thank you enough. Anyway, I'm not going to go on about it. It's a bit cringy, innit? I'm sorry. But yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Bang, let's go. So Brotherhood, as much as I like it, it's going to have to go down in ranking because it's such a copy and paste. You can just tell everything's copy and paste. The animations are copy and paste apart from the combat stuff. And it didn't really make any substantial improvements to stealth, to combat, apart from the free flow thing, which is cool to look at, but it just makes it easier, which in turn makes it worse, I guess. But then again, it does depend on what you wanna play. Do you want to play an easy game where you get a god complex, or do you want to play a difficult game like, I don't know, any other stealth game that exists? Completely up to you. So for Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, I'm going to give it a C. It's on the same level as Assassin's Creed 1 to me. That's going to be kind of a thing throughout this whole video. A lot of these games are going to get C's because they're all the same quality, really. But yeah, this video is going to be so long. Guys, please. I hope you can feel my pain about editing this because it's going to be long, bro. T. Every video, I promise. Now, Assassin's Creed Revelations. I literally just beat this yesterday. It's the last game I played to make this video. And I'm so glad I did. Okay, is it a copy and paste of Assassin's Creed 2 again? Yes, it is. It is. But the story is so good. Listen, I like Assassin's Creed 2. I like Brotherhood, but their flaws are obvious and their stories are good but not that good. But Revelations just manages to just completely destroy them in that storytelling department. I love this game. I love its story. I love how it ends. It's Ubisoft's best story, I think, from the games I've played. Seeing Ezio slowly accept his fate, accepting that he was kind of just a pawn in everything and that he needs to just move on with his life and accept that, it's so humbling but just so perfect for his character, you know what I mean? He was dragged into this unwillingly, you know what I mean? He kind of just got tricked into serving the assassin brother. His parent died and his uncle turns up he probably hasn't seen for a decade and said, you're going to be an assassin, but you're going to kill people for us. It's me, a killer, you know what I mean? He just turns up. So to see Revelations finally finish Ezio's and Altair's story in such a thematically pleasing way, it's just so satisfying. I'm not going to talk too much about the gameplay because it's the exact same. It's also a very short game. It's the exact same as Brotherhood. It has the same flaws. It just has a much better story. But for the story alone, it's getting A tier. Revelations is absolutely phenomenal. The soundtrack is the best soundtrack in any Assassin's Creed game. Assassin's Creed 3 came close in my opinion, but that's just me. But Revelations, honestly, just that's how you finish a story, okay? That's how you do it. I'm not trying to get pretentious here, but it's just, I love it. I love how they did it. It made so much sense. I miss Ezio, man. He was so cool. Right, Assassin's Creed 3. This is where things get really interesting. Assassin's Creed 3 was the first Assassin's Creed since 2007 to take some major risks. First off, you're going to 1770 or whatever. Well, technically 1750, but you get the point. You play as Connor in the 1770 or whatever, during the American Revolution. That's a big risk, because it's very different to the cities of Italia, or whatever, or Italy, whatever you want to call it. I'm trying to be cool. Am I cool, guys? Let me know if I'm cool, please. So that was a massive risk. I'm going to sit down for this. Not only that, but they continued the modern day story in a way that honestly made a lot of sense. You start to play as Desmond, you start going into modern day, you start doing missions, but ultimately it falls flat. But as much as I respect the changes, and I respect the risk that Ubisoft took to reevaluate the franchise from a gameplay standpoint, as well as a storytelling standpoint, and tried to do something different, it just doesn't work. Now, I know there's a lot of people that love Assassin's Creed 3, so I want to make it clear this is just my opinion, okay? I'm not saying I am the god of Assassin's Creed, I'm right and you're wrong. This is just an opinion thing. But for me, Assassin's Creed 3, even back in 2012, just didn't work. For me. I remember I got it on release day. I begged my mum to buy me it, and she bought me it, and you know, I was a manipulative little shit. And she brought me it and I completed it in a night. A lot of people don't believe me how quick I complete games, but I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. I have no life, so you know, it works. It's a good balance, you know what I mean? I completed it in basically a night. I ignored all the side missions and just got the story done. But even then, it didn't work for me. Something just fell off, and I do think it's the setting. As much as I found the setting cool, it just doesn't work for Assassin's Creed. First off, the whole frontier thing, the forests, the trees, it's a really good idea, you know, having tree free running and parkour and all that, but it's just too basic. It's just too basic. When it comes to like changing up how Assassin's Creed feels with free running parkour, you can't just dumb it down. You've got to improve it. You've got to make it slightly more advanced while also keeping it simple for casual players. And that's what they went too simple. You hold RT, R2, or just right click on PC, and he just sprints, Connor sprints, and he just does the climbing and everything for you, which kind of sucked. Combat, as flashy as it looks, is dumbed down. Okay, this is going to be a hot take, because I know a lot of people love the Kenway Saga, but listen to me, okay? Listen, please, I beg, just give me a chance. The Kenway Saga combat that copied Batman Arkham to the extreme is shit. It is a terrible combat system that is boring to play, okay? Let me rant. Listen, all you do is you press B and then you press X and you get a counter kill, and then you just do your free flowy thing, pressing X every now and then to get instant kills, and that's it. There's like 2 enemy variants. You got the big guy with the axe, and you got the people that shoot you. And then there's 3. So you get the normal sword guys that are a bit more advanced than the regular, let's call them pawns, like chess. 3 enemies, and you can instant kill pretty much all of them. It is a terrible combat system that did not improve in Assassin's Creed 4 and definitely didn't improve in Assassin's Creed Rogue. It is such a stupidly easy combat system, and I just hate it. Now, am I saying it's not cool? Of course it's cool. It's flashy. They chose animations over gameplay. That's what they did. It's more like watching a cutscene that you press. It's a quick time event. You wait for the right moment to press a button, you press it, and then you press another button, and then you just press the same button. You spam the button. You just spam the button like a quick time event. It's a quick time event system disguised as a combat system, and I just don't like it. I think it sucks. And you know what? I'll give props to Origins, I'll give props to Valhalla, and I'll give props to Odyssey. As much as I dislike the 2 games that have come after Origins, at least their combat systems require some sort of thinking, you know what I mean? Some sort of creativity in the combat. Here, it's just so basic with no options. It's boring. It's a boring combat system. Anyway, but I also feel like the open world was dumbed down. They completely ruined the whole Assassin's Brotherhood thing. I know I skipped over it in Brotherhood and Revelations about the Brotherhood system, but I just don't have enough time to talk about it. But they basically made that system significantly worse. This time you can only hire like 6 assassins or something, and you have to go through these story missions to recruit them. And to be honest with you, it's not worth the time because it's too easy. You don't need the Brotherhood system. You just don't need it. The only time you're going to fail in this game is when they force you on tedious tailing missions. And I skimmed over tailing missions in Assassin's Creed 1, 2, Brotherhood and Revelations because it's the worst in Assassin's Creed 3 and Assassin's Creed 4. Assassin's Creed 3 is like 90% tailing missions. It's actually ridiculous. And Assassin's Creed 4 is the same, but we'll get to that in just a minute. Parkour system got dumbed down. Everything is just more simplified. And it's not to its benefit, to its detriment. And I know you guys, some people will love this game, and I completely respect. I wish I loved this game. I really do. But I just can't get into it. It's too easy. It's too easy. The story is actually interesting. I actually like Connor a lot more now than I did when I was 12, obviously, because you know I've got a bit more understanding of that character and how he's going to be feeling about having his family and his entire tribe killed, and then his entire goal ruined, and then his entire life was dedicated towards a goal that ended up screwing him over anyway. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. It's horrible. It's not boring. It's what's the word I was going to use? Not boring. I can't remember the word I was going to use. It's not boring. It's tragic. You know, it's a tough one to get through. It's not as funny. It's not as charming as Assassin's Creed 2 or Ezio's story. And that's exactly what Assassin's Creed needed. I believe that. They shouldn't have done another funny, charismatic character. You needed someone like Connor to show the contrast of each individual assassin, their goals and their motivations. Sometimes it's not just about a revenge tale. Sometimes it's about something bigger than you. And I really like that, but the story just loses me at the start, man. The Haytham stuff is not fun at all. I know a lot of people love Haytham. I like Haytham, but it didn't need to be at the start of the game. They could have very easily started the game with Connor and then just sprinkled the Haytham scenes in over time. Or hell, just reveal him as a Templar and then show his background or something. I don't know, because the big twist, I remember in 2012, I was in my living room playing it because I managed to nick the living room and Mum went upstairs. I was playing through it and I'm like, this guy's a Templar. This guy's a Templar. They're literally saying Templar things. If you've played any of the Assassin's Creed games, you know they're Templars. I don't know how anyone was surprised by him being a Templar. It was so obvious. It was so obvious. Anyway, so Assassin's Creed 3, I'm going to give it D. I'm going to give it a D tier. Okay, I personally think the game is bad for me, okay? I think it's bad. The gameplay is just too dumbed down for me, and that's going to be consistent for the next 2 games, I think. I don't think the next 2 games will be D tier, because well, we all know why Black Flag is going to be slightly higher. But yeah, for me, Assassin's Creed 3 was really disappointing, and the ending for it left a lot to be desired for Desmond's stuff.
Arr, mateys, it's Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. Hoist the colours of the Black Flag and stab everyone in the name of freedom, because assassins, except you're not playing as an assassin, you're playing as a pirate, and you're with Blackbeard, and you're with Captain fucking Dickhead. Whee!
Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag is really good. It's really good. Not because it's an Assassin's Creed game. I'm not going to just carry on. Everyone's already said it. It's a pirate game. It's not an Assassin's Creed game. It's a pirate game. And it's a really good pirate game. The only time it's not a good pirate game is when you're off the ship. Simple as. Havana, boring to explore. It's not great. Probably one of the worst cities I've ever played. And yes, it's kind of fun to free run. But once again, the parkour system is dumbed down. It doesn't really... You're not really playing. You're just holding RT and you just... You're not really doing anything. You have no real control over it. And it just gets a bit boring. The same goes for Kingston. The same goes for pretty much any of the cities, okay? But once you go on that pirate ship and you start becoming a pirate, yeah, it gets really interesting. It gets really, really, really cool. So, point in the game, you can upgrade your ship. You go around shooting ships. You start boarding ships. You upgrade your ship and you go blow up even bigger ships. Perfect pirate game. Perfect. That's all you need. That's what I mean. That's good simplicity. That is perfect simplicity. Not dumbing down the mechanics, but dumbing down the whole gameplay loop to make it simple, to make it easy to understand, to make it fun, just make it slide, you know? Just a nice smooth slide, no bumps, no humps like you're driving a car. It's, oh, so good. On top of that, you get Edward Kenway, the second best protagonist in all of Assassin's Creed. I've said it, there we go, simple. Edward Kenway is a really good character. I know some people don't like him because some people just don't find him very likable because he's a pirate, he kills people for money. But I like it, he's a complicated character and he's less interesting than Ezio because we got 3 games with Ezio, you know what I mean? We watched Ezio grow from a teenager into an old-ass man and then die of crippling old age, you know what I mean? So, that's why Edward's kind of just lower tier than Ezio, you know what I mean? Because we didn't get enough time with him. But watching him go from this pirate that's obsessed with treasure and money into a actual assassin at the end of the game was really interesting. I quite enjoyed it. And not only that, you know, you're a pirate during the end of piracy. What a genius way to set it up. I mean, I'm a bit biased. I mean, I love the Pirates of the Caribbean films. I love them. I mean, the first 3, we're going to ignore the last 2 because they're really bad. But I love pirates. Pirates are cool. They're just cool, okay? Yes, in real life, they were murdering scumbags, robbers, criminals, you know, kind of the kind of people to not treat women very respectfully, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, sure, in real life, not the most nice guys, but in a fictional sense, I find them really fun. Blackbeard is really cool. Captain Hornigold's pretty cool. Traitorous twat, but he's pretty cool. Just in general, it's pretty cool. But I haven't spoken about the combat or anything because it's the exact same as Assassin's Creed 3, except the animations look worse, the sound design is weird, and the actual exploration on foot isn't great. It isn't great. It's all about the ship, and I love the ship. The Jackdaw. I love upgrading the ship. I love blowing stuff up. I like boarding stuff. I just wish the combat, the on-foot combat, was just better. You know what I mean? I just wish it was better. I want a proper pirate game, you know what I mean? Just give me a proper pirate experience, man. Don't attach it to Assassin's Creed, and don't release Skull and Bones Ubisoft because it looks terrible and you know it's terrible, so please don't do that and ruin your reputation any further than you have. Thank you, cheers. Assassin's Creed 4, that is getting a solid B tier because I really like the pirate stuff and it's that simple. It's my list, man. I don't have to justify my list, okay? Okay, I will justify my list, but I don't have to justify, okay? Okay, B tier. Assassin's Creed Rogue, it's the exact same as Assassin's Creed 4, it's a copy and paste, except this time it's set in the North Atlantic. Woo, North Atlantic, let's go, woo, 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 Ice Age, where's Sid? Give me Sid, I like Sid. Ice Age is a really good film, by the way, you should watch Ice Age. It's the exact same as Black Flag, and well, to be honest with you, I ain't got much to say about it. It's cool. This time you play as an assassin turned Templar, but the story is too short to get attached to any of the characters. The open world is kind of boring to explore because it's literally just, you know, sea and ice, really. I mean, you can go back to Kingston, which is cool, I guess, but outside of that, it shares no resemblance to other Assassin's Creed games. It doesn't really connect to any other Assassin's Creed games apart from Assassin's Creed 3. So, it's cool. B tier. Bang. Right, next up, Assassin's Creed Unity. Best parkour system and really great combat system despite buggy elements to it. Yep, I'm saying it. And co-op. Co-op is really fucking cool. They should bring co-op back. I love the multiplayer of Brotherhood and Revelations, and I love the co-op in Unity. I don't know why they removed it. The co-op and multiplayer are so unique to me. There's nothing cooler than having 3 assassins with you, going into a building and robbing them and stabbing people. That's so cool. Why did you remove it, Ubisoft? You fucking idiots. And the multiplayer of Revelations Brotherhood were really cool. I love that stuff. It's so good. It was so good sneaking around, stabbing people. You know, it was like, oh, it was like a game of hide and seek. It was really fun. And then removed it all. So co-op already, it's bumping it up a tier. I love the co-op. Combat, while buggy, I understand it's not everyone's favorite, but I really like the combat. It's a good mix of Assassin's Creed 2 and Assassin's Creed, the Kenway Saga. Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood and Revelations, and the Kenway Saga. It went back to roots while also adding a bunch of different ways to take out enemies. There's more enemy variety. It was just a bit too buggy. It was a bit too buggy, which is really bugging me. It's just a shame because it would be way higher up on the list if the buggy combat was fixed, but it wasn't. Parkour, the best parkour in the series. It will never be topped, I don't think. It will never be topped, ever, I don't think. Best parkour. You got an option to go up and you got an option to go down. Perfection. It looks really good. There's different ways to traverse. The buildings, the open world itself is perfectly built for the system of parkour and free running. It's just perfect. It's literally just a perfect game. I'm leaning on a wall, by the way. This green screen is actually pretty mad. Woo. It's pretty much the perfect Assassin's Creed game. It just launched way too early. It was too buggy. It's such a shame because I actually think it's probably one of the best Assassin's Creed games out there today. It's still buggy. It's still buggy right now, but it's nowhere near as bad as it was at launch. Especially if you play on PC. Playing on PC with 60 FPS and 1440p is a game changer. It's a game changer. It looks amazing. It's still the best looking Assassin's Creed game too. But where it falls flat is the story. It's a bit weird because Arno, your main character, decides to get with his stepsister because he gets adopted after his dad is killed by a Templar, and those two have like a little romantic thing going on, which is kind of weird, to be honest with you. It's just like, oh, really, Ubisoft? Why? Why go that? I mean, I guess it's the time period? Who knows? But the story isn't very good. In fact, it's a complete mess. 1 minute you're just playing as Arno, who's meant to be like some sort of teenager, but he's not really a teenager, he's like a grown-ass man. Then his stepdad gets killed, and his sister decides, you know what, I'm going to get revenge on them and all that stuff, and then it turns into a mystery hunt for this special sword. And honestly, it's just really bad. It's really bad. I understand where they were going with it. I understand the idea. I understand the direction behind it, but it just fell flat. Assassin's Creed Unity, I love it. I'm sorry to rush it, but you know, I'm getting tired, bro. I'm getting tired. Assassin's Creed Unity is getting a solid B. It would be much higher. It could have been an S tier, but it's just too buggy. And if you're really buggy, I can't forgive you for it. You've got to polish your games, Ubisoft. It would have been S tier, but it's B tier. Bang. Kind of noticed that I haven't put any Assassin's Creed games in S tier. I don't think there will be an S tier game, to be honest with you. Assassin's Creed Syndicate, let's go. Syndicate is a copy and paste of Unity, except this time it's set in London and they changed the combat system a little bit. Bang, simple. The only thing that Syndicate has on Unity is that it launched in a much better state because obviously they had an extra year to polish it. There you go, simple as. They understand the problems with Unity, so they managed to fix them, you know what I mean? You don't know the problems are there until you find them, you know what I mean? So it's one of them. But Syndicate itself is really boring to talk about. When I replayed it last year, I enjoyed it quite a bit, but you know, it's just another Assassin's Creed game. There's not much to talk about. The protagonists, Evie and Jacob, yeah, they're pretty cool. They're pretty cool, but it's just a bit too jokey. It doesn't really have the stakes of the previous games. It doesn't really connect to any of the previous games either, which is what you want when your IP is Assassin's Creed, but you know, it is what it is. Not much to talk about. Combat system's fine. Stealth is fine. The open world is fine. I'll give it a C. It's fun. It's not a bad game. It just exists. Anyway, Origins. So, Origins completely rebooted the series pretty much. I mean, it kept the whole storyline, but it kind of ignored it as well. It was like a soft reboot. This time you're an RPG. What they improved? Combat system. Combat system is way better in my opinion. It's way more engaging. They sacrificed animations for engagement of gameplay. And I 100% support that. The best combat systems are the great blend of great animation and great engagement, okay? Like I said with the Kenway Saga, it's just a quick time event, but here you actually have to think about your options. You can choose different weapons, like you can have a shield, you can have a sword, you can have a spear, you can have a hammer, you can do all of that as well as a bow, and you can choose how you take everyone on. And I really like that. The open world of ancient Egypt, probably one of the best settings in Assassin's Creed. Yes, is it a little bit boring to explore because most of it is just sand? Of course, it does struggle with that. But I think they do enough with the open world and have enough sections there where that's actually interesting to explore and has side objectives and everything, where I can forgive it. I can forgive it. Yes, it's too big, really. It is too big, but that's going to be a problem with Odyssey and Valhalla. But I just respect it for completely taking massive risks with the franchise. It needed to be done. They took a year break. They said, you know what? Let's actually do something creative with Assassin's Creed. And so they did. And that's what they did. And I really enjoy it. The story isn't as good as everyone says it is, I think. I think it's way too rushed. Like, it's weird. They've got this massive open world, but the story is really short. Every sequence has like 2 memories in it. It's weird. I don't really get why. And then the ending comes and goes, and it's just like, oh, yep, that happened. In all honesty, it's probably one of the better Assassin's Creed games. Bayek is really cool. It's probably the best RPG Assassin's Creed game, so I'm going to give it A tier. Bang, simple, easy, boom, let's go. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is terrible. I know people love this game. I say that with every Assassin's Creed because it's true. Every Assassin's Creed has its lovers and has its haters. It is a terrible, terrible game. Everything is worse. Combat is worse than Origins. Story is worse than Origins. Open world is worse than Origins. They decided to make it fucking huge for no reason. Halfway through the game, you get level gated, so you have to do a load of boring side missions to progress the story. A story of which is really boring and uninteresting, and you just hope there's a good ending at the end of it, but there isn't. To the point where I didn't even beat the game. I didn't beat Odyssey, and I didn't beat Valhalla, okay? The games are too long, they're too big, and they're not worth the time that they expect you to play. It's just not worth it, okay? These games are too long, and they take the absolute piss. It's pretty obvious Ubisoft said, let's make these games so stupidly long so we can sell time savers. Ugh! Time savers suck! Ugh! You bought the game, and you want to play it? How dare you? Buy the time saver, you pussy! Ugh. For that alone, it's going down like 2 tiers, okay? Odyssey, I just don't like it. There's not much to talk about. It's the same game as Origins, just worse. And I'm not gonna give it any more time. It gets an E, okay? Odyssey gets an E. Ugh. Disgusting. Ugh. Sorry, I didn't mean to spit on you. I am the sticky man. Not the spitty man, but you get the point. And finally, Valhalla. The exact same issues I had with Odyssey. It's too long, it's really boring. Everything just got worse, okay? The visual presentation got worse, the story got worse, the cutscenes got worse, the combat got worse, the parkour got worse, the customization got worse. Everything just got worse, okay? I know people love these games, I know there's gonna be a couple comments complaining about it, but I just don't get it. I just can't get into them. At all. Origins was a really good balance, but Odyssey and Valhalla, they just lost it. I don't know why. I genuinely believe it's time savers, that's why, but I don't know. I don't even want to talk about it. I want to end it here. I don't like Odyssey or Valhalla. Let's get it out of the way. I'm going to give Valhalla F or E, the lowest possible tier, because I'm biased and I don't like it. What are your thoughts though? Where do you rank all these games? There's a lot of games to talk about, so the comments, you know, good luck. But thank you for watching, really appreciate it. Stick with the Sticky Man by subscribing, like the video, and thank you for all the support on the Batman Arkham videos. Really appreciate it. Hopefully, I'll see you in the next video. That should be about Splinter Cell, or maybe Counter-Strike, who knows. Thank you for watching.